Hello, today I'll be talking to you about arrays. So what are they? What are they used for? And dimensions? So arrays are a type of container that is declared using the type of data that we are containing, a name, and the size. We store data into arrays in order to have a list of values pertaining to one subject. For example, if we have someone's grades for their exams, we could store that data into an array in order to save it all in one place that's easy to access. This is much more efficient than having 4+ variables with exam score. So arrays as variables. When we declare an array, two things are crucial. We must ensure that the brackets after the name of the array are there to classify it as an array, and we must also set aside certain space or memory for the array that will contain the data of a certain size. So for example, here int array 10, make sure that there's 10 spaces for the array to have data in, or integers in. Here the array is declared with the size of 10, but notice how there's no values assigned yet. We can also have the program get the size. If we fill an array with values, though it's better practice to set the size for yourself. So here's an example. If you set the brackets as nothing, but you set values into the array, then it sets the size to 3. So understanding the position. So the position is the index of the array and is crucial to understanding arrays. Understanding that the index is in an array do not begin with 1 is crucial to get your program to extract and manipulate data from arrays the right way. If you have a loop that you want to start the initial position, you must always make sure it starts at position 0. So here is an example. So if you want to look at number 1 is in position 0, number 3 is actually in position 2. So that's pretty important to know. So how can they be used? So the data is stored into an array in the order in which it is input. In order to manipulate an array, we must use either some type of loop or manually change the data at a certain position. If you gather data from users and store them into an array, you can sort data using nested loops or find averages or any other manipulation. So they're pretty useful and efficient. So an array's dimensions. So similar to matrices, arrays can have multiple dimensions where you can store data. For example, if you had an array declared as a character array 3 by 3, you would have an array of 3 rows and 3 columns where you can have row 0 be student 1 exam scores, and then row 1 be student 2 exam scores, and so on. And yeah, so to summarize, arrays are used to store data, which we can later manipulate. We must be mindful of the positions we want to manipulate and other limitations like the size of the array that has been set. Thank you.